Yeah, let's look at something that I came across yesterday. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, depending on where you're watching me from. This is Open Talks with TG. We have this conversation here daily, 6 p.m. UK time to whenever. We generally make it 30 minutes, but most of the time we find that depending on the conversation, it goes beyond the time. Today, let's look at something. I came across this news yesterday evening, and it was by our Minister of Digital Communication and something strategy, Professor Issa Pantami, where he announced, he unveiled the acquisition of new trucks for our NiPOST system. I could ask myself, hey, so our postal system still they work for Niger? I don't know. I was thinking, say the postal system don't bata. I know we have a few of them in Lagos that are operational, maybe in the cities, but places like my village, I'm not sure say the post office because they work for there. And now waiting and bring me would discuss this even be this. When if you can recall with me, when email came in, it can't be like say email wipe out postal system. When mobile phone came, it wiped out our how they call our for that Nigeria telephone that time again. Oh, it wiped out our telephone system, and this is how this trend just day. When one come, we go eradicate one. When one come, we go eradicate the other. And listen, oh, the people when would they learn these things from the developed countries, they're not they throw away their own. But our own, once we get one new thing, be like who just buy new clothes, then you go throw away the old one. When you buy new clothes, you go throw away the old one. That is the way I see our kind of leadership. And one thing when it causes in this lack of maintenance, which is the biggest problem we will get for governance. Apart from corruption and your own agenda and your own government, you get that one, and then they compete with us. Apart from corruption, just bear with me, I try share for my page. Apart from corruption, the biggest problem we have is lack of maintenance. If they purchase something today, the next couple of years we not go follow up to say, okay, let's improve on it, let's maintain it, so that gradually we'll be going upward as against repeating the same thing over and over. And we see this every year when you listen to our budget. If you listen to our annual budget every year, you go see the same items repeating itself. You ask yourself, say, these things, they use them, just throw away them, then they will be, they maintain them. You ask yourself, they go repeat, computer, you go hear kitchen utensils, you go hear, you go see cars, So you now begin to ask yourself, is it that these things, they use them, whether they maintain them, or, These are the kind of questions that actually runs your mind. If I tell you today, say, as developed as Britain, that will still have street telephone, when in those days what they do for Nigeria, you go queue up. We still get them here, and it is still working. People they use them, visitors they use them. Visitors when they come to the country, when not get SIM card, when not get access to get contract to make call. They use the street telephone. You drop £1, £2 in it, and you make your call. Emergency calls, depending on the kind of calls, it work. But if they ask you, and now the people if I just get a mobile phone long ago, and they even get the top rank of mobile phones today, they have technology. They talk about 5G already. They use 5G already. Whenever they effectively spread 3G. So if they feel they keep them, do we really try to mirror some things as in the developed countries, what they do better than us? If they use them, don't you tell you that Then they keep awaiting the rainy day. Then may will come another thing. Look at their houses. If you look at the houses here, because the weather is cold, in those days, when they build the houses, they naturally use charcoal. So that they use charcoal to the proper fire. Normal fire will get that the heat inside house. So there's what we call chimney in every house. They go build the chimney so that the smoke they go from that place, they go out while the heat they come inside. You won't believe that till today, that chimney, those chimneys, they are still in the modern in the houses. Even modern houses, they still build chimney put. You're now begin to ask yourself, why did they build chimney when in today's day and age, now we use electric heaters, we use wireless heating system and things like that. Why they still build house, they put those things. These people, the way I see it is they always think of the rainy day. They think ahead, way ahead. Because let's assume one day you wake up, say electricity just collapse, they fall back to that system. That they don't have to start running around fast, see how they will take modify houses. The system is already there. It's just to look for charcoal, pack and put back, and use the whole old system. You see the point? Our own. Once we get one, we go scatter the other one completely, pack them off, sharp, throw away them. Very practical example. When they bring Christianity, religion of Christianity, what do we do? All these small juju when they protect the street before, they pack them, throw away them, all of them, saying Christianity.com. So then now what will they suffer? More robbery when there's more Christianity. Now so it did in those days. You get when juju day street were safe because all those small, but Oyibo own as they evolve, they go enter Christianity, they pack those, they pack and enter museum. The keeper for museum, people they go there, they go pay to look them. Our own, we pack them, we burn them throw away. You see what we do our this thing? When would they move forward, would they throw away everything? We know they forget say one day these old things can become luxury to people. You don't go price old car before. If you know how to bid an auction, go and bid any vintage car in auction. Maybe you see the price where you go when you go for. Vintage car, old cars, go and bid it in auction. You will see that those things you see, it becomes so valuable to so many people that the bidders that goes for those kind of cars, now people won't get money. But our own, once we get one new thing, we throw away the old ones. They bring Christianity, we throw away all the juju ones would go back from museum, make it become, so that's it, go become historical. They want to say they go to kind of they learn, kind of visitors will come, they look those things and you know, people can make money. Tourists, people who are into tourism will make money from it. We not think like that. We only think throw it away. We don't need them anymore. That's what we do. When they bring mobile email, we throw away our postal system, scatter everything. Now the same postal system when they throw away, now they struggle to revive now in the same country. Whereas if you come to this thing, this is a letter. I just get this letter the other day. There's barely a day they don't send a letter to me in this country. Barely a day. They post past anything. And that's why everything we do here, they tell you proof of address. Proof of address. Proof of address means an address you live in that they've been sending you letters to. So those letters, they are the proof. And later they tell you, oh, letters from your bank, letters from your doctor, letters from your school, letters from your workplace. So all these are credible things they know they can use to hold you, that they can to verify, okay, you actually live in this address. You cannot forge address for that long to say, okay, if they send letter, they go one address, you deliver another address. There's one thing, when you see the way they catch criminals for here? They go and bring proof of address. They will look at your driver's and say, what address is here? They go compare it with those letters. So you cannot go and forge 6 months later from a credible company, a credible, like bank. You cannot just go and forge bank document, say, oh, put date and time, come. So these kind of things, they still make use of them. They know how they use it. You go say, okay, who they send post? We're in a paperless economy, and they are more paperless than you. They are more digital than we are. Even in the digital system, they still tell you, they still leave the poster in Britain. Virtually every corner there's post office. When I say every corner, from where I am, like from this studio now, if I want to go out to post, I wouldn't trek up to 10 minutes. Trek, like walk. I won't walk up to 10 minutes to get to the nearest post office to tell you how it is. And from that post office to the next post office will not be up to 10 minutes. So there's virtually post office everywhere. But our own, we think because email has come, we throw away post office. Whereas in our offices, we still have pile of files. We are still very much manual. So, and we are saying we don't need postal system. We don't know that these are the kind of this way. You see how we say unemployment, things like that. They cause unemployment. So because these were government parasite when they really plenty everywhere. So they used them in those days to recruit people. Now people they work for post office in those days. But today now, when they don't close all of them down, as you're closing them now, you're closing jobs. You get people who are posting before, those who have post boss before, who used to pay to service those post boss, they no longer need them anymore. They close all those simple fee. Oh, send me email. Yes. But as we're doing that, we don't think about the economy, the impact. And we don't look at developed countries. If you go to America, they still post. If you go to Germany, they post. Go to Ireland, they post. What is special about our own? They scrap all these things, scrap them. Now, the same things when they scrap, so this is the same, this in they bring come yesterday, they send this in. Just see this video this in. You get, they revive the postal system. You understand? So you begin to ask yourself, if we need all this in, what went wrong at some point that we now had to move the postal system and break the postal system down? You get, you ask yourself, this same postal where they break down, now this new minister now said, no, let's give them more truck. They've purchased new trucks. But if it has been in existence by before now, don't you think it would have evolved to, instead of having those go-kada and all those OPay, how do they call those one? Maybe our government would have been the one creating those things in place that will have people who can post by foot, people who can post using motorcycle, people who can post using bicycle. And that's how it is here in the developed countries. You see people who post neighborhood. They just go to post office around them. They work for the post office, but they are just neighborhood postmen that they know the postcode or the address. Let me use our own system. We call it address now. They know this address of these places. What they do, they go to post office. They will go carry all the letters in that area. They go sort them. Then use foot, post all of them. Then we have other people who will go to that same post office. Then they pack letters of distant postcode from that post office. They will use bicycle. They run around. We still have those who use motorcycle. The same post office, they use motorcycle to post maybe the kind of urgent, quick one, first class, same day delivery, signed for. So these are different kind of delivery services, and people pay for them. If you go and do same day delivery, you pay. If you go and do next day delivery, you pay. If you do priority service, you pay. So the government make money from all these things, but our own. We don't think of all this most money revenue because why? We don't get oil. So everything about oil. You see? And the annoying part is the citizens too, nobody our leaders, we still get our own for body. When government they close more parcels like this, we not go see people and go say, okay, we rebrand it or we will still keep our back into the system. If government is closing postal system, that's an opportunity. Let's reinvent the way by creating modern postal system so that when these people they come out, will they supply the people post so that they go see they get letters and those. Okay, let me give you a practical example of how companies make money from sending letters in this part of the world. This letter way they see like this. Companies they are companies that deal with just letters. How do they do it? Let me give you a practical example. Look at private schools around us. We'll get plenty private schools. We'll get plenty banks. Do you know that these banks, they ideally would want to send letters to their customers? Do you know that those schools, they ideally would want to send letters to the parents of their students and pupils? What about our university? Do you know they would want to send letters to students or to other organizations? Now, there are organizations like here, there are organizations that actually deal on that. What they do is they go create that company that they send, they are middlemen. So you as an organization, when you print from your design, they have a digital system so that when you print from your office, they pick it up in the printer. We call it follow me printer. So it stays in their firm. Then once you print, you with your letterhead and everything, it will come out. They will just pick that letter and go and deliver it. You see the point? They will go and deliver to the address. So these are a neutral, even with the government post office full everywhere. These are special organizations that do this kind of business. You go print, they go set up the printer so that the printer did their office, but it's the digital printer so that you have the access digitally once you print from your office. So many organizations can be printing like that, but all they know is we don't care who is printing. All we care is the address and the recipient. So if you print a letter, as people are printing from different organizations, as they are rolling out from the printer, we are putting them in an envelope and we are sending them to addresses. You see the point? They still keep the posters, but these are people that they know the benefit of digital system. They practice digital system more than we do, but they are still the ones still keeping this part that they came from, because they know that if they don't keep it, if anything happens, it will still bounce back, because this technology will say internet. Internet will break down one day for the whole world, and will fall back to that same manual system. So if we have to fall back to that manual system, where we stand, you see what they talk now. When they call the teller, say they go and do small sanction, this and that, we'll call they complain. We'll go they complain. You see, this now one thing when they set us back as a nation, maintenance culture, the culture of holding on to things that you don't need them today, not mean say if you don't need that tomorrow. You keep it there, leave it. If possible, we should learn to this privatization matter when they had us. Now one big thing too. Let's learn to private. Okay, we're not going to run this off on as a government because of the cost of governance. Okay, fine. Let's look for a company that can manage it and keep it up to date, whilst we're following the money technology that is is safer and cheaper and effective as well. You see, now if they tell me say post office today, I'm not going to believe. If I was told that post office still exists in Nigeria, I wouldn't have believed. But thank God the minister, now when I see the minister, I said this is genuine news. In fact, I got this video from his page. You can imagine. So some of these things are things that when they say, we need development, development doesn't just come. We they get alternatives. That's why you see this part. If your power not catch email, because there are people in society, even in this developed country, who don't know how to use the computer, but you won't believe it. Not be only also, not when I tell you something when they have they visit only with day back. No, here people when else be use computer, they plenty people get phobia for computer system day. So they still fall back to writing. They write. Here we'll get the GPS satellite navigators when we take the drive. But there are people who are not used to it. They still go back to that paper map that they used in those days. They will call it A to Z here. They will carry it wherever they want to go. They will look that map till they drive. They still use it. They don't throw them away. They still sell that A to Z. Tomorrow, if you go to post office, you see it. They sell it there. But our own, the more GPS come now, let's say Google, if Google agree, if there's an agreement between Nigeria government and Google to say, may they put their map, satellite map across the whole nation. Give them 2 days, you're not going to see anybody able to use map anymore. They go throw them. It will become just, the Google map. What's the address? Type it in. You walk down, or you drive down. This is the kind of system that we are building. Make I tell you, why would they get bad road? Do you know that most of the roads we have that are destroyed today, they are destroyed not because we cannot have good roads. It's because we don't maintain them. The same thing that happened to NiPOST, Nitel. Exactly, I remember the name now. NiPOST, Nitel. In fact, the so-called our tradition. This same thing next day happen to our roads. The moment the new government come, they will go and look for a different road they want to build. Whereas the road before, or the major roads, they are still there. Those ones that were done recently or few years ago, they will not care about it. Okay, we have break, we will go maintain them. There's no maintenance plan in place. Okay, continuity plan. Okay, we are constructing this road and this is the maintenance system to keep it running regularly. So we set up this agency that will be looking at this road to say, okay, whenever this part, any contour, they fill it up. When it reaches a social period of time, we clear a bit of it. We're doing it small. Instead of bringing out one big sum of money to say, okay, without this sum of money, we cannot change the entire road. You get? So if we do it like that, you can see how things go different go there. Imagine this east-west road for Port Harcourt, from Lagos to Port Harcourt, are we from Warri to where? Since how many years? I can't remember how many years when they started that project since 2005 or so. But if I tell you, they never finish that project in now. You got to ask, how long is the road? It's not because we can't do these things. But the truth is that maintenance, before they go even reach the end of the project, where they do go don't scatter because they just submit those parts, waka come out. This other people see this linger, other part of the project is they wait for budget and things like that. The only way we can overcome all this underdevelopment thing is one, the little we have, let's hold on to them. If we get postal system, if you like, make telephone come. As telephone they come, may we still hold our postal system strong. Because it creates job. Let's look for, okay, how do we modernize it? Okay, instead of using it for maybe neighborhood, let's look for all the organization. Every organization, you send letters to this. We look for a way to create strategy around it. That way, these are the things that create job. These are the small parasites when they create job to people. When people, they get job from all these ones, we keep people busy. When people are busy, we keep crime low. But by the time they do one, all this van would they see for years. So now it's just here. Abi, this minister go pursue all this agenda. You go see, I say, when the next minister come, if we're not careful, he go ignore, he go scrap all this plan again. They go rubbish all this one, say we don't need it. They go talk the project down. Then the next thing, what we go call here, now another dimension, starting another dimension altogether, raising new budget for it. And this one, they don't allocate the budget, they don't spend the money. They'll call allocate new budget, start afresh. You see the way we do our own. So this is why things remain the same thing. It's like we're recycling the same thing, doing the same thing. But what they say, we want development. Thank God for some governors when they actually do some concrete projects now. You get? But the question is, these ones, the governors that are correctly doing concrete projects, when their successor come in, will they continue those projects? You see, we have a problem there. A new person will come, they come up with full-blown plan, like there was no plan at all before. And this is because this is how people get their own share. I beg, if I continue that one, they don't chop small commodity, make a certain a fresh one, so I can get the full cut of my profit. You see, the economy first, when would they lack? Now be the problem what would they get? We know they feel they put the economy, let's put our economy first to bring development. If we say, okay, this postal system, this man is trying to revive it now. When the next person come, you pick it up and say, okay, let's look at all those neighborhood postal houses that have been closed. How can we start reviving them? Talk to governors, let governors go and engage their state local government chairmen, let local government chairmen engage their councillors. So before you see, we find a way to revive them. If the government cannot fund it, how can we partner with other organizations or individuals that can help us run this kind of thing, so that people can be kept in job? Because this small job, like you think it's smaller job, this kind of job better pass private school when they go to people 15,000 naira. You see the point? By the time we put people in the other kind of, when you close all these small parastatals in our country, you are closing down job. You're closing down. You're creating unemployment. But you say that they save money. Every decision in public office is not all. It's not cost driven. If you're doing cost driven decision making, most of the time it comes at the expense of development as well. But sometimes you look at the impact on the economy. If we close down this company, if we implement this policy, and it goes against many firms, how will people cope? Is the question we should always ask. How will people cope? Because when you're implementing your policies, it impacts on businesses. And the moment businesses are struggling, the economy goes down. When the economy goes down, the masses suffer. So you see the whole chain of things. So for every action on inaction, it goes down, it drills down the value chain system. And the common man at the bottom suffers it. So if they put this kind of thing that, okay, when postal system was available, people had job. There are some old women, old men who just go there, they sit down. People come, oh, mama, papa, I want to post letter. Okay, how much is postal? Oh, they just, write the address like this. Totally, if they ask modern graduates to address envelope, it will shock you that many people don't know how to address envelope. Why? Because many people, when they graduate, they never graduated to see, they never grew to see the postal system. So all they know is email. And the email doesn't have a format. Email not get standard. It just, it's always any way you go. You get? But with letters, there are standards. Those are when they teach us how to write letter in school. Because postal system they will tell you, oh, yeah, have you posted letter to before? So people trying to even send letter to get free Bible in those days. These days, those things not there anymore. You see what that, and not that we are so developed already. That's okay. The developed big boys are still keeping it. They are using postal system. You go to America, there's post everywhere. You come to here in UK, they post parcel from post office. We go buy something from Amazon, we go use post office. We go buy something for you, we go use post office. We go buy from Facebook, we go say use post office. You go so post office is not only for just paper, this kind of paper. It's not just for paper. Listen, post office post anything. Anything. That's why you see this big van. This big van is not to pack papers. This van you're seeing here is not for papers. You get, it's to post things. Somebody wants to post luggage. If government post office is cheaper and safer, they will go to government system as against going to take risk on a one-man business that they don't trust. There's no proper accountability, probably no proper record to say, okay, you gave me this parcel and we're delivering it. If it gets missing on the way, we take responsibility, we'll pay you back. You understand? So these are the kind of things that you see that when they bring us down, you get most of the people, there are good parcels. If they network Nigeria properly with all this post office, it will be a means of communication, means of movement. When somebody they Port Harcourt and they want to send their relatives stuff in the north, they don't need to struggle. They just put it in the post. It gets there. But when the post, they work within Lagos, because data state post, I don't know whether post office is the data state or Edo state. You get Edo state, the man again one when they vote with very old, I think somewhere around England that I see one. You get. So if all these post office they work, there is a lot of benefits to the communities. Why? If person one part of the country, it won't send. You don't need to say you want to use local driver when the way they use and not say, oh, I bet give driver a car, go block them for road. You don't need all those. Or you could go use DHL. Why? See the DHL FedEx, they are surviving. There are people taking advantage of all those things. Why will not get our own that can actually be well looked after in every community? There should be post office. So when person they post, you know where they post go. It will get there. Person go post. You pick them up. Or the postmaster bring it to your address. You understand? This idea of throw away. It don't kill the system. Gradual. Like I said earlier, you will say, but is this the conversation? To you, it is small. But don't forget one thing. Little things matters. Because when they are added together, they form big things. If they tell you the amount of job that post office can create, it will shock you that it is something, it is a sector that we should not neglect in our communities. If they tell you the amount of people that can gain employment via post office alone, it will amaze you. We're talking about NiTel. This is just post office. You get? We're talking about NiPOST. If they tell you the amount of job that NiPOST can create, if well established, if well maintained, it will amaze you. You know how many people send parcel on daily basis? Do you know this NiPOST can work with international postal system? That instead of all the what they pay heavy amount of money they give, they can do government to government deals, and it comes at a very cheap price. We can use our cargo flight. So giving it out to the, we get our cargo flight. NiPOST. Would you put your this in? They go deliver for America. They go deliver for other country. They read there. They give to the other postal this in. They continue the journey from there. You take your piece, and it will come at a very reasonable price. So there's a lot of this that can be done with this postal system. But neglect, neither make them don't go down. Now the system now, the current government, they are trying to see how they can revive it again now. We cannot be repeating the same thing over and over. It doesn't tell good of our governance system. It makes us look very incompetent and like we don't have vision. Like, oh, this is the agenda. There should be a standard template that this is what we're actually aiming. We've done here. So when you're coming, you're not coming to start a new one. And that person could just come to one and say, no, we don't need NiPOST. It's this government, they are blah blah. You could just run and down. Like they would just run it down with one liner, and that's it. You get? And at the end of the day, this whole investment, this whole budget will just be down to the drain. This whole van will just be destroyed. People with the few people that have been employed, they will just be chased off job again. You understand? So these are the kind of things that sometimes we should pay attention to them in our society. And our leaders should look at it. That's why I say the kind of what I want to hear in campaign manifesto is not telling me we'll construct the road. I don't want to hear that come this 2023 election. What I want to hear in manifestos is I want to hear people saying, oh, you see our NiPOST system that has been collapsed. We're going to revive it. And this is our strategy to make sure that every corner of our community that we have post office. Now, if we have post office at every particular distance, let's say 2 miles or 5 miles in the country, in every community, imagine the number of jobs they will create. And they can still tell you, okay, this is what we aim to get. We know how much of goods and services that are transported in, out. We know how people risk their life to journey to transport goods from one place to another because there's no postal system. So because if you want to take away that burden from most business people. You want to put stuff to follow the product, and because there's no postal system, and you can trust the government and deliver with the government will go and take the journey for you. You see the agenda, like things like rice in the north. You want to go and buy rice, you don't need to go there. You buy. There should be government this thing that will ship them, move them to where you are in the south. So businesses can connect using these kind of things, but we just look at it as, oh, it is just, sometimes we look at that as face value. It is just for paper, but it goes beyond paper. The postal system can save more than just paper. So these are the things that we should look at, things like this. We want to see manifestos that are very strategic. I listened to a manifesto one of the election year, and somebody said that if a young graduate who has been given loan by the government to school for the period of 3-4 years, when you graduate, instead of working, if you set up a business, the government will write some part of your student loan off. You get the point? He said if you set up a business and you employ, is it 3 or 2 people? For the first 2-3 years, and you operate for the first 2-3 years, after 3 years, the government will write off. But that's what we call strategic leadership. It's strategic. Why? He's trying to encourage people, young graduates, instead of you going to look for a job, set up something. Instead of you go look for a job, set up something. Even if you want to, you employ 1 or 2. Look at the chain reaction, the chain reaction that will come from that. That I graduated because of that that it was write off £27,000 for me. Do you know what that means? That's good money. It's worth it. I will look for, okay, what can I sell? What can I start up? Can I set up a painting business? Can I set up a cleaning business? You get what I mean? Before you see, people start creating small businesses left, right, center. Economy is booming. So instead of these people coming to cry on the government that will create jobs, no, we'll give the rest of the day. If you can meet this target, we'll write off your student loan. You see what the strategic leadership. These are the kind of things we want to hear. But our manifesto, what do we hear every time? Year in, year out. We will construct roads. We will bring water. We will bring electricity. The same thing. Everybody. The same thing you hear here. The same unemployment. We will create job. How will you create the job? Nobody says. Explain. When you start asking, explain how you create a job, people start saying all manner of things that doesn't add up. But when you see proper manifesto, well costed, they call it costed manifesto. There was only one person that did the last election, and that was Showore. Showore costed this manifesto, and he was able to defend that, yeah, we'll get money from here to pay 100,000 naira here. We'll get money from here to... So I'm not saying his manifesto is perfect, is excellent. No. I'm saying at least he was able to do that analysis to say, okay, these are the figure. This is where we'll raise money from. This is how we'll canvas to get cash to fund this. You know? So he was able to balance the strategy to say, okay, this is the project. This is just funny. I'm not saying he would have worked. No. I'm only saying at least he made an attempt to say, okay, we know that we should call the problem, look at the current the situation of that problem, and we'll say, okay, this is our solution. That is how a manifesto should look like. It shows that the person, whoever is talking about the manifesto, has done a little bit of work. He has tried to understand the current this thing. This is the same thing that's happened to this poster that we're talking about. You get, somebody is coming, want to hear strategic thing that, okay, how can we create job now? Okay, instead of just saying we'll create, we'll solve the problem of unemployment. You don't just say that. It's okay, we'll revive the NiPOST. We'll revive NiPOST. When we revive NiPOST, that should create maybe 3 million jobs, 2 million jobs. And this is our calculation. In states like Lagos State that is commercial, we know we can hit this amount of this in there, and we can use that to network the South. So that instead of people crowding this in, when they know that there are businesses, there are a way to communicate with the South, this value chain system will transport down there, and it will make those other states to boom. You get the point. Instead of every guy you're running to Lagos, they will now stay in there, saying knowing they can get job around post office. They can be postal men, they can be cashier, there are different roles in the post office. You get the point. So we want to hear creative manifesto, creative campaign, not campaign where you come and repeat the same thing you've had other people say, well, you don't even know what they are saying probably, because you just went to YouTube and play some things. Then you think, oh, all you've listened, follow politics a lot. So this is what people say during the election. You just want to say the same thing. No, you should come different, come creative to say, yes, we'll do this sector. This sector will notice that it's been abandoned for a very long time. We'll pick it up. We'll create job from it. We'll create revenue from it. You get things like our road. Here in Britain, we pay road tax. For you to drive on the road, you pay road tax as a driver. And that road tax is what they use in maintaining the road. That's why you cannot see the road go bad. Because people are paying road tax. So why should the road go bad in the first place? And there's a company that maintains that road. That contract is constant. It's K, non-negotiable. It's been agreed with a company who will take charge of that contract. And the money goes to them probably. I don't know how they have their budget behind it with the government. But you get to just that company. Anywhere you see a breakage in before you see the company is there, they remove that bit, they fill it back. If they know that this road has been for a period of time, the local council will take it up. Before you see, because they give a budget to local councils, so they must use it. If you don't use it next year, you don't get a budget. Because you don't have project, you're not looking at this to see what can be done with the money. So it's pointless giving you money when you cannot use it anyway. You see the point. So you see how things get done. Little bit. We see you take that way, say little things matter. Don't say, if you look at the bigger picture, you may be carried away. Look at the microscopic aspect of it, that okay, if we can do this little, before you say little, the whole lump will be done. And we'll all be celebrating success. So this is kind of thing that, which I was impressed when I saw this yesterday, but I never believed. Even to tell you how far I went, I had to go to the portal to actually see what they do in the portal. I said, let me go and check to see what they actually do in their portal. And this is the portal here. You get, this is the portal. You can literally see this is the services they offer. Although it's not so standard, don't get me wrong, but at least we're getting somewhere. At least we're getting somewhere. You can see the services they offer. EMS, parcel, you see parcel services. You see, these are the counters. You can do mail, e-commerce and logistics. You see what I was saying there earlier? This is the kind of thing that post office do for you. You get, they do e-commerce. You can say, I want to buy 50 bags of rice in the north. Instead of jumping to the north, you may not be able to go to the north. There, you can use the portal to say, okay, please, Oga, you know the customer, the person you're buying from. Please post it. You pay money into the account and to be sorted. You, at the comfort of your house, you get the parcels, the products delivered. So you can see here financial services. You can see workshop and properties. So there's a lot they are even into. Nigeria Postal Institute. So they are still training people. You understand? So these are the kind of things that we want to see. Although when I came here to find a postcode, this is where this thing didn't work. I tried using this bit I couldn't proceed from here. If you come here and do this, you see, it doesn't move anywhere. It's just there, it doesn't move anywhere. I couldn't proceed. So it means this part of the portal is still in progress. Even if you go to the rural bit, it doesn't work. So it's still a work in progress from what I can see. But this is the parent, this is the home page. So at least probably some parts here are working. There's even not much this thing. You can see just like they are literally starting all over again. You see what I was saying earlier? So this is like starting afresh. If I look at the home, but it doesn't even click. You see? It doesn't even click. So coming here now, it takes you. Ideally, if I click on it, it should take me back to the home page. So this is where the home page is now, very hidden. So you see? So most of these things, they are just like tabs. They are just trying to develop. They've not actually. This is just a single liner. You see? But what I'm saying is track and trace. We will have track and trace, postcode finder, but these other things didn't work. This postcode finder didn't work. That was that page. Okay. So okay, maybe this one worked. Delta, or this is where we came out now, you see? So if I close this, what does it show? So you see, but what I'm trying to say is, in essence, is there's a lot that can be done with the postal system. There's a lot we can do. So instead of saying this, if I ask many people if you know that they will have a NiPOST website, many people wouldn't know. That's to tell you how our system runs. And this is why I keep saying that our system is too separated. All these parastatals, they should all hook up to gov.ng. It should be one big government portal. But you go to post office, from gov.ng, you should be able to connect the post office portal. From gov.ng, you should be anything you want. It will be easy for people to communicate. It will be easy for people to know what is available and what is not. If I go to UK website now and I show you, let me show you something. Let me bring it up so that you see what I'm doing. If I come here and say gov, this is the website. If I search here, say post, you see different things you can do with post office. You will see what you can do, post office or the query, anything. If I search here now, I will be able to contact the post office nearest to me. You understand? So this is the way they do their own. Everything is linked. They do from one portal, this single portal you see, gov.uk, you can do virtually everything. There's barely a thing you cannot see here, as long as it's related to government agency. This is our system. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, that we should have a system that actually centralizes everything, so that instead of talking all this the same thing in the same way, and that person come do A, this person come do B, like this person never did, they run the other person down. Let us have continuity. Our system is too very, very babyish. So we don't need all those everything is criticized. No, we need solution-based conversation. We need people who can carry another person's idea forward. Not always coming my own, because when you bring your own, that's how you can make money. It shouldn't always be so. It should be, okay, this person has done A. How can we take it forward? And how can we keep track of the previous one? How can we maintain what has been done while we are building upon it? That should be the agenda. You understand? That should be the agenda. So that when we talk about the postal system, we know, this man has come. We know he came, he gave us some vans. Maybe he established a few offices. He gave us a website, which they are still working on. Okay, what has not been added to the website? What can we add? What services can we offer? What more services can we add? When we start adding bit like this, before you see, it becomes a system that everybody will be happy with. Before you see, it becomes a robust platform. It is bit, little things, adding 1, 2, 3, keeping consistency. That is what we need. Once we're consistent, before you see, it's a big business. Let's leave it here. I'll see you here tomorrow. Don't forget, this is Open Talks with TG, and I remain your host on this conversation, holding here Mondays to Sundays, 6 p.m. UK time, This is what we do. This is what we love doing. Our agenda is to build a better economy with effort from you and myself, supporting our leaders, bringing solutions to the table, engaging reasonably in a civil manner, and making meaningful impact. I remain your host, your friend, and your brother. I am TG. Bye-bye for now.